Hi there, this is Amanda Frankel with our Crafty Playdate, and we are going to be making these two cards in rapid succession today. So it will be two separate videos, so be sure that you watch for both of them. But because the tip that I'm only going to cut once and show you how fast and easy it would be to make a second card like this. We are using a designer series paper that is actually retired. I don't remember even what it was called, but it coordinates with a stamp set that's current, which is the Translucent Florals. And if you find that this happens, you love this cardstock, and you want to make some because you can't buy it anymore, maybe eventually on the clearance rack, which is a big tip. Be sure that you check the clearance rack for stuff that's recently retired. But if you want to make it, just random stamp on a piece of paper. So grab some colors that you like together. This is this flower, right? This is on there too. This one is that one. This is here. This is here. So just grab a couple of different colors of ink and random stamp on a piece of paper. And then it may look chaotic. When you cut it apart, it's going to look like this. So if you don't have a designer series paper that coordinates exactly with what you're looking for, you can make it with your stamps, and that will be a whole nother video. Maybe I'll actually make a video of that since we don't have that paper anymore, but I love this stamp set. And so that's what we're using here to make this. Otherwise, this is just a paper and a paper from the same pack. So you could make some with just some random stamps. But we're using this stamp only for this flower and this stem, okay? Otherwise, we're using something else that makes me happy. All right, I'm going to move this aside. We're going to make it in video number 2. This is video 1 of them. We are using this here. It comes together. It's called a hybrid folder. Look at this. I've got them all connected together here. It's called a hybrid folder. It comes with an embossing folder, an embossing folder that looks like this, right? It's just an embossing folder. It's one of the chubby ones, kind of thick ones. It comes with that, and it comes with a die set that looks like this. And you think, how is it going to do this? Because these are embossed. You can't really feel it, but it's embossed, and there's no stamp set. So how did I stamp and make it say, "You make me happy," with just an embossing folder and the dies? And that is the magic you're going to see today. So I'm going to move these out of the way and take these pieces out and get started. Okay, so I'm going to use these two together. I have cut a 6x6 piece of basic white paper. If you're going to make this, the best way to do this, honestly, you could just use the size of the piece you want. Like if we wanted just the hello. In this one, it's the "You make me happy." So I could use a small piece of paper and put it there. But the beauty of doing both of these is I only had to cut this once. And I have a collection of other words that I can use for another time. So I'm going to show you how that works. Okay, so I've got my embossing folder here. I am going to open it up, and I am going to ink it. So it has one side that's debossed and one side that's embossed. So it makes it kind of confusing, but I am going to ink it on this side, the side that has the logo. Okay, so that is the side I'm going to ink. I'm actually going to put ink on my embossing folder. Do not do this with a StazOn or a permanent ink, or you will ruin your folder. But with our ink pads, it works perfectly well. I am going to tap it lightly. Some people like to use a brayer. I'm not a super brayer fan. I mean, I am, but not for this. Okay, and I'm going to make sure that I'm getting all of my words. Good. All right, now I've got it in there. I'm going to take this and very carefully match it up. So see how it says "thank you" up there? And this looks like the same cutout. And this one's just because. So I'm kind of matching it up, and I'm going to drop it on here with the cut side up. So and it just snapped into place. You see that? Now it's not wiggling anymore. And I'm going to set my white cardstock on it, and I'm going to close it like this. All right, it looks weird. I know. And you know me, I hate to emboss or cut in front of you. I usually do that off camera and then show you what I did because it makes the camera jiggle. So I apologize in advance, but it's important that you see the magic. You got to see the magic here. All right, so I'm going to layer these up in the correct sandwich. Make them all the way on there. Make sure that you put this on top. Don't ever have your embossing folder on the top layer. If you do, it's gonna bow. Okay, so I'm gonna do this and it's gonna shake, and I'm sorry in advance. I'm running it through. Always fold side first. You always want your embossing folder to go through fold side first. Okay, and it just finished. I'm gonna put all these parts out of the way. Or drop them on the floor, as the case may be. All right, put them out of the way, and I'm going to open this up, take this off, and just dump these guys out. Okay, so my dies now have some ink on them. Honestly, what I do is I just run it under the sink, and then I just wipe it off, and you're done. Okay, then you don't have to do anything else with that. So I'm just going to move it out of the way. Same with this. I run it under the sink and wipe it off, and you're done. You do it right away. I mean, I don't have to stop the video and do it right this minute, but I will do it, as soon as I'm done with the video. You don't want to leave it forever because you don't want it to get stained. It could get stained, but it won't get ruined. And I'm going to pull all these words out, and then we're going to take a look at what we have. And I have a couple of pointers. So this is what you end up with. You end up with a little piece of nothing. And then you've got all these words. We've got get well. This one's just because. And you can see how it highlighted all of the words that it cut out for me. And it gives me a lot of things. You know what? There's one that's like oh, here it is. It went under. With sympathy. Okay, so this is what you end up with, all these different sentiments. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the You Make Me Happy for this card, and I'm going to use the Celebrate for the other card, and I'm going to take all of these and put them in a little container. I have a little box, and I'll throw those in there, and then when I want to make another card for something else, I have some sentiments that I can just pop on quickly. And you can see that this card, I could use love you, or thank you, depending on what I needed. Same with the other card. I could put pretty much whatever sentiment I wanted on there. The only one that I would say probably doesn't go is the with sympathy, only because of the color. I don't know, maybe a pink sympathy card, I'm not sure. Anyway, so I've got all these extra words. I've got the two that I need for these cards. I can move these aside, and then I'm just going to hold on to them. Another cool thing that you can do, and I kind of started on this so you could see what I did, is you can actually use your ink pad, grab a little bit of ink off of it with a water pen, which is not the name of that, probably, but you just grab a little. We have these, by the way, in the catalog. You grab a little bit of water. I like to get it kind of started. There you go. And then you can actually color these in. So you could, and I like just kind of the bottom. I like to not do the whole word, but you could color it in with a different color. You could color it in with the same color. I like to kind of do this to give it kind of a little ombre look. You could do darker at the bottom, and I could keep just layering here to make it darker down at the bottom and make the card kind of an ombre ink at the bottom. Okay, so you kind of see what I'm doing, but you could color it in. You could leave them solid. I liked it solid for these cards, but you could do a lot with this. And now you have a whole collection already made that you don't have to trouble yourself with next time you need a super fast thank you or get well card. It's a done deal. All right, so let's just make this card really quickly now. This piece is Fresh Freesia. Oh, by the way, the ink that I used was Berry Burst for the sentiments. This is Fresh Freesia. It is 4 by 2.5, and then this is a piece of the designer series paper. It's just an 1/8 of an inch smaller, which is just barely smaller, and I did that because I only wanted a teeny tiny frame on it. I'm going to go ahead and glue those together, You can see how accurate I am with my glue placement. It's super important to be accurate. No, quick and dirty. All right, and I'm using a retired ribbon only because I had it and it was Fresh Freesia, and I thought, I got it. I might as well use it. So that is definitely the order of business, is if you have it, just use it. Don't get too hung up on whether it's current or not. If you're looking for a ribbon and it's like this one, it is a retired ribbon, you can check the clearance rack. On my website, I will list just my regular store link website so that you can go there and shop and check the clearance rack out, because you can find some good bargains there sometimes of the retired stuff. And the bow I made with a bow maker. Okay, the ribbon, by the way, if you're looking for it on the rack, it looks like this. It is Fresh Freesia. What do they call it here? Do they call it something special? Yeah, open weave ribbon. And it looks like that, okay, if you're looking for it on the website. All right, so now I need my card base. I'm just using a standard size card base here. Folding it in half. And I am going to stamp on it a little bit on this one. The other one is even faster. And the other one, I'm not going to, by the way, recut all the words, because you saw I already have it here ready to go. All right, so now that I've got this on, I just glued that straight on. You could pop it up with dimensionals, but I just glued it on. Makes it easy. Oh, before I did though, I stamped. So let me show you why and how. I did use the Fresh Freesia ink. I liked it, even though this one is berry. I liked it because it's not distracting. I did actually make a set in the berry. I mean, this is in the Fresh Freesia, and when I put it there, it just kind of disappeared over the flowers. So I have a set of these now in Fresh Freesia, and I have the berry ones. So anyway, all right, so this is the Fresh Freesia. That's what I'm doing with these flowers from the Translucent Flowers. I'm just laying this here so I kind of know where my flowers should be. I'm going to do one tipped this way, and then I'm going to do one tipped this way. All right, and now, that's all I need for that. And now I am going to use Parakeet Party ink, which did retire. It was one of our colors that retired. But honestly, there are a lot of different greens in this paper, and you're going to make your own paper, right? Because this one retired, so it'll be whatever green you care to use. This is just the stem. I'm going to ink it. I'm going to make this stem go this way. Won't matter, that's going to get covered, don't worry. And this stem is going the opposite direction. Okay, doesn't matter that I rocked a little. I rocked because I'm not directly over it, of course, but look, covered. Okay, not a big deal. I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. I say go ahead a lot. You can go ahead or not go ahead. I don't know why I say that all the time. All right, so I am going to glue this down right here. Good. And then these guys I popped up, and they're pretty solid, so you don't have to be really worried about using an edge. I've just got this little pile of stuck together dimensionals, and that's what I'm using. Okay, so I can just kind of put it anywhere, but I don't want it to get saggy, because you know what I always say, nobody wants a saggy bottom. So I'm going to use 4 little babies like that. That way we won't have a saggy bottom. And peel that off. Sorry about that. If you are having a hard time getting dimensionals off, just stab them with your fingernails right in the middle, and they start coming off. And I'm going to have a big pile of dimensional pieces later, because I'm making quite a few of these videos because I am negligent. Okay, so that is done. I'm just going to put that on there, and the card is all set. So stop back to look for the second video where I'm going to show you this video, how I did it really quickly. This one was going to be like a 2-minute video, so watch them in rapid succession. All right, that's it for this one. If you are looking for something retired, look on the clearance rack. I'll link it below. I will link everything else that's still current that I used in my description below. This embossing folder, that is, you got to get it. It's basically a stamp set with an embossing folder. So, and dies. So it's all combined. It works together. So, I will link all that below. If you don't have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. Stop back and see me soon. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.